To find a polynomial with the given zeros, we must first go backwards and write the polynomial in its factored form. Remember that when we were trying to find the zeros, we set the factor equal to 0 and we solved. So in this case, we'll go backwards, and negative 2 will actually become x plus 2. And if we see that, if we have x equals negative 2, if we bring the negative 2 back over to the x, we get a plus 2. So x plus 2 is the factor that this 0 came from. If we're using the 0 of 3, we have a factor of x minus 3. It's just the opposite. And for the 5, we have x minus 5. Once we get it that far, we simply multiply everything out. X plus 2 times x minus 3, when we FOIL it, we get x times x is x squared. X times negative 3 is negative 3x. 2 times x is 2x, and 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. Combining like terms, we get x squared minus x minus 6. We still now have to multiply this by x minus 5. Distributing, we can still multiply the x squared times the x and the x squared times the minus 5, and then move on to the negative x, multiply it by both terms. So what we want to do is simply multiply here. We've multiplied x squared times x and minus 5. Now we'll do negative x times x and minus 5. And now we'll do the negative 6. Now we want to combine all of our like terms. Now we have the polynomial that our zeros came from. And if we took our polynomial and we factored it, we would get zeros of negative 2, 3, and 5. We could also put this in our calculator and look at the zeros, and we would get zeros of negative 2, 3, and 5. But because the question asked us to actually find the polynomial, we went backwards, we multiplied it all out, and we now have the polynomial that this came from.